Welcome to the One Gang Worldwide podcast, your ultimate ride into the world of motorcycles. Visit cyclesworldwide.com where we offer a completely free marketplace for everything motorcycles. Join our One Gang community where you can connect, share info, and swap stories with riders from all over the world. Join for free at cyclesworldwide.com and be a part of the One Gang community right now. On today's episode of the One Gang Worldwide podcast, we're joined by Allison Rocky Ha, a powerhouse in motorcycle mechanics and the driving force behind Rocky's Wrenches and Rides. Rocky's commitment to empowering women through hands-on workshops has made her a respected figure in the motorcycle world. In today's episode, Rocky will share some great stories behind her passion for motorcycles, the importance of her workshops, and the impact they've had on women in the motorcycling community. So let's get our hands dirty and learn more about the empowerment and education that Rocky brings to the world of motorcycle maintenance right here on the One Gang podcast.
First, I had it all, envisioned, but it took a turn. I was like, okay, well, I'm wrenching a lot on this bike. So I'm going to include riding and wrenching. So, and I love alliterations. So Rocky Wrenches and Rides. And it was born.
Hey, One Gang, if you enjoy the podcast, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You can turn notifications on to hear when new episodes are dropped, too. Any of your engagement supports the show and helps us book great guests and keeps us going. If you or a friend would make a great guest, hit us up at cyclesworldwide.com or drop a comment. Thank you guys so much.
One Gang Worldwide podcast, brought to you by Keyboard Motorcycle Shipping. Since 1978, Keyboard Motorcycle Shipping has been the trusted name in transporting motorcycles safely across the country. With custom designed pallets and air ride trailers, your bike is secure and protected every step of the way. By choosing Keyboard Motorcycle Shipping, you're supporting a dedicated small business that prioritizes quality and customer satisfaction. Ship with a peace of mind, knowing your motorcycle is in expert hands.
Please visit shippingmymotorcycle.com. That's shippingmymotorcycle.com. And now, back to our show.
Hey guys, welcome to the One Gang Worldwide podcast. We got a great show for you guys today. We have Allison Rocky Ha. She is the owner of Rocky Wrenches and Rides, great little small business that helps others. So this is going to be a fun show. We'll get inside her. Thank you so much for joining the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. So I got to ask you about your childhood. Did you learn to love breaking and fixing things at an early age, or did that come later?
I guess that came later. I always had kind of an engineering mind. I went to school for engineering in college, but as a kid, we were just our dad's gopher. He would always fix everything. He never paid for service unless it was way above, what he could do. But so he always fixed everything, and we were the tool getters. Go get me a 7/8. Go get me, and then we were helping bleed the brakes, pump, 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 hold,
Right.
So
That's fun.
we built up some good quads, pumping the brakes for him to bleed brakes.
Did you have a big family?
We had 3 girls. They were all 2 years apart, and then 10 years later, they got a boy.
Oh, wow.
So-
Okay.
So we were all raised like boys
That's cool.
until I finally got one.
That's funny. Where'd you grow up?
I was born in Florida, but only stayed there a few years. My mom was from there, and then I grew up around Louisville, Kentucky, where my
Nice.
dad's from.
Very cool. Louisville.
Yeah, for
Well-
sure. You had mentioned you have a engineering degree from the University of Louisville. What were your aspirations as an engineer, and what were you like? What was your goal going for this degree? And then tell us what you're doing now with it.
Well, I thought that I wanted to go for electrical engineering, but once I got in that for a couple of years, my focus kind of switched more to industrial, and my passion was making things efficient, whether it be the way you do something or the way a business is run or, just placement of products to make the operation more efficient. That was what became more passionate to me, but I didn't know that was an engineering discipline. I just liked to do it until I got into engineering. And then I found out, oh, I don't want to do electrical at all. This is what I want to do. I really hate electrical.
Right.
Yeah. That's fun. So, take us into Rocky Wrenches and Rides and how that came about and went, down the entrepreneurial rabbit hole.
Okay. Well, it didn't really come about as a business to what it is now until a few years later. I got into motorcycle riding. I didn't grow up around motorcycles. I didn't have that background. I started riding the bike because it was a secondary cheap form of transportation for me and my husband.
Right.
So
Okay.
we got a bike. We started switching out. Whoever had to pick up the babysitter or pick up the baby from the babysitter, they would come drop off the bike and the other one's work, pick up the truck, go get the baby and go home. And then that other person would drive home on the bike. So it was kind of we always switched out the bike for our logistics and whoever needed to be picked up. So that's how I got into riding, just because I had to. Then I liked it, and I ended up getting my own bike. And so I don't know if I don't know if I'm getting ahead, because this is the background to how Rocky started,
Right.
and so I'm not sure if I'm getting ahead of the.
Hey, let me ask you a question before you tell us about Rocky Wrenches, how it started. What was the bike that you and your husband shared? So that was your first bike that you guys ever purchased. So what was that motorcycle?
That was a Honda Shadow 600.
Nice. Okay. All right. Cool. So you guys cruised around on that. All right.
Yep.
So that was the first time you got on a bike. You guys both went for your. Did he ride prior, or he was a beginner like yourself?
He may have had some experience, but not with his own bike. And so
Gotcha.
neither of us really were riders before.
Gotcha. All right. So give us that path that Ben was saying. Take us into the how Rocky Wrenches and Rides officially began and why you decided to create it.
I started it because I had a motorcycle accident on my. I ended up getting a Yamaha V-Star 650 for my bike. Love that bike. And I never worked on it. I never did anything to it because it's a Yamaha.
Right. Yeah, they run forever.
Yeah, it takes a beating, and it just kept on going for me and never asked me for anything, or at least I. So I didn't know anything about maintaining a motorcycle. I just rode it, and so in 2017 in March, I had a wreck on that bike. A lady pulled out in front of me. I was unable to avoid it, and ended up totaling the bike. I broke my pelvis, fractured my pelvis in 3 places, pulled my SI joint, and had some other minor injuries.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was very painful. I couldn't quite walk. And so needed a lot of help just getting into a position so that I could attempt to, walk or use the bathroom or all of that kind of stuff. That was very to move. You can imagine the thing that you expect to be stabilizing you when you're walking or sitting is fractured in 3 places. It's, it was very painful. But that was in March, and by June I was already, I already purchased a new bike. So I had been looking about probably end of April or so, end of April or May, beginning of May, looking at what I was going to get, because I knew I was going to get another bike. They just had to.
Good for you.
But I wanted to take more of an adventure approach. So I was looking at bikes that could go off-road, bikes that could lead me, down that path I never went down because it was dirt, and wondered where it went, but never found out. So I was looking at a Ural. I did some research. They looked so fun. People were in the videos were doing all kinds of things with them, going over water crossings, taking them, abusing them, putting them through the test. And so I thought, well, that sounds like a great bike. And then I started doing more research and found out, well, they might need a little TLC. They might need they might need a little bit of help. But there was a great online forum called Soviet Steeds that all the members on there have owned Urals, have been through all of the problems, have posted about them and how to fix them and what, you can expect. And I thought, you know what? I got this. I can do this.
The one you got was the one with the sidecar, right?
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for people not familiar with the Ural, it's a Russian motorcycle brand, and it's a off-road, on-road with a sidecar motorcycle. So
right.
Well, what's the CCs on that? Do you know?
750, I think.
750.
700, something, I believe. I haven't ridden that bike in a while.
Okay.
It's already went downhill, but
it's already gone downhill.
But that's okay. It's a part of the journey.
That's right.
And so, and it was what made Rocky Wrenches and Rides happen, because I thought, okay, well, it's minor stuff. I can handle that. They've got solutions here on the forum. I can always, if I have a problem, I'll just look it up. So I found this bike. It was about 8 hours from me. I borrowed a trailer, went down with the intent to buy it. There wasn't anything in my mind that said I'm not bringing this bike home. So I went down, test rode it. There were some things a little off, but again, I had that mindset where I'm going to be okay. This is rare, and I already knew I wanted it. So my mind had already been made up. Loaded that on the trailer, came home with it, and it needed a little more than TLC. With my husband's help, I was able to change the rear brake pads, and then just some little things. And I don't even remember what they are. The biggest thing of that was brake pads in the back.
So it wasn't too bad. Okay.
It wasn't too bad. And then as we got going, the bike wasn't really running right. And then it stopped and not start. And I had to figure out what the problem was. And so I thought I was chasing one problem, but that ended up not being it. And so going down the wrong path so many times, and finally was like, I give up. I'm going to take this in. I don't know what to do. And to take it in was a big thing, because I would have to, again, borrow a trailer, drive 3 hours, because that was the nearest place.
Oh, man.
Drop it off.
Please.
Yeah. And they come home, borrow the trailer again when it's ready to go get it.
Right. To go back.
And drive another 3 hours. So it was a big hassle that I wasn't prepared for. I didn't have the resources for it. I didn't have the money for it. So you know what? I'm just going to dig in. I'm going to have to figure this out. And so I did. I ended up figuring it out.
Yeah.
So I was able to.
Oh, so you didn't actually take it
Never
in?
took it in.
You decided not to. Cool.
It in.
Okay. I mean, that's the best way to learn your bike too, is trying, diagnostics. That's funny.
Yeah.
Trial and error.
I had the appointment. It was for the very next day. And I thought, you know what? It was like 9:00 at night. I was just like, I'm going to go back out to the garage and I'm going to look one more time. Maybe there's something that's going to appear.
What was going on? What was going on at this point?
Okay. So
what was the issue?
It was the starting was intermittent. It wasn't able to even attempt to turn over. And I started messing with the steering. I would turn it one way and turn it the other way. It seemed like when I had it turned, I think it was to the left, it would try to start. And I was like, what is going on when it's turned to the left? What is this? I mean, that doesn't make any sense. Why, if it's turned to the left, it's going to try to start, and when it's turned to the right, it doesn't. It's not related. So I got to looking and I was like, okay, when it's turned to the left, this cable's pulled tight. What is this cable? And I looked, I was like, that's the speedo cable. That has nothing to do with it either. What is...
Right.
What I ultimately figured out was when the speedo cable was pulled tight, it was forcing a connection with the ground. And I didn't even know was there. It was underneath the tank, right up under the tank. You couldn't see it. And so apparently that connection had gotten loose. And so when I turned the bars to the left, the speedo cable was pulled tighter, and it forced that connection on the ground, and it was attempting to restart. So that's what it was. And I would have been so embarrassed, if I had taken that up there, and they would have known all, right away probably to check.
Yeah, but that's what those guys do. Not everybody knows. So I mean, the fact that you were trying to figure it out and see what the heck, well, you didn't give up on it. Most people would just say, screw it, I'll take it there, go get ripped off by the dealers and get it fixed. But you continued on. So, all right, so let's continue on this journey.
All right. So I wanted to document my stuff, my experiences with the bike, with fixing it, with my, adventuring with it. I didn't plan on having to document, experiences of fixing it. I hoped to document experiences of adventure and fun. I had
writing it.
Yeah, writing it. I had a little girl, and she would be in the sidecar, and we'd go on little adventures. I had it all, envisioned. But it took a turn. I was like, okay, well, I'm wrenching a lot on this bike, so I want to include riding and wrenching. So, and I love alliterations. So Rocky Wrenches and Rides, and it was born.
How did you get Rocky? How did you get the nickname Rocky?
Rocky actually came from before my Ural days. I was in roller derby, and my roller derby name is Rocky Galboa.
That's awesome.
I'm a huge Sylvester Stallone fan.
Yeah, he's a good one.
That's clever.
So funny.
So Rocky stuck. I was like, you know what? I can just keep Rocky and use that alliteration.
That's cool.
So I did. And then I was documenting wrenching stuff and writing stuff all together, and it kind of fit. So
would you open up your YouTube channel and just kind of did it that way? Is that,
yeah?
How did you start getting the message out?
Yeah, I did YouTube, Facebook. Eventually I started an Instagram as well. And just kind of was posting stuff and posting stuff in some groups that I'm a member of, female writing groups and things like that.
Gotcha.
But and then of course my personal page, but it didn't become a thing to use to teach women how to work on their bike until about 2020. It was January of 2020 when I decided, you know what, I can make this a thing where I have a workshop,
right,
where I'm actually showing people some things that they can do on their bike, because I realized it's not that hard to maintain a bike, and I had been neglecting my previous bike so long.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I felt bad after realizing what I should have been doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Allison,
you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
Yeah. Allison, did you when you started creating this this endeavor with the YouTube channel and the stuff that you were doing on social media, were you targeting a specific audience? Were you going more towards the female riders, or were you just going in general just to help people?
I was targeting female riders because I felt like with guys, it's kind of inherent, almost expected, but it's more inherent for them to be hands-on, mechanical, and having that knowledge as they grow up already.
Right.
And so a lot of females aren't introduced to that. And so as they grow up, they're very foreign some of this stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's not that they don't have the ability. It's just that when they were raised, this wasn't a focus. And so some of the things that that boys play with that help with spatiality
Yeah.
helps their mind gear toward mechanics. And if women are brought up playing with the same type of toys or the same types of games, then their minds aren't subjected to certain concepts. And so it's just that they take different paths then, because their interests and their things that are inherent in them then at that point are different than things that are inherent in us.
Yeah.
So
It's a good message for parents too.
yes, yeah. Like I said, we were raised kind of as boys. I mean, not as boys, but my dad did.
No, of course.
Have, there wasn't a line like, okay, this is a girl's toy, this is a boy's toy. It was, we got dolls, but we also got a shotgun and a BB gun, and
Nice.
I like
Yeah.
it. I like your dad already.
yeah. Oh, we had both. We were introduced to everything. So
Right.
Yeah.
so nothing was out of the picture for us. Everything was within our reach as far as you're capable of doing this, or you're allowed to do this. So nothing was
Yeah.
told. We were never told we couldn't. We were able to.
Okay, that's
So,
cool.
So I was focused toward women because I wanted to help that population, realize that you can maintain your bike. You should maintain your bike, and you can do it by yourself. You don't need to take it into the dealer where, we all know that females get taken advantage of more at the dealership. Because
No.
tell me something I don't know. So
That's the bad part about dealerships
yeah,
and just mechanics in general. Stupid.
right,
To take
right.
advantage of people.
And that's we can avoid that if we know a little bit more about what we're talking about. So I wanted
And
to
you focused on what type of maintenance? Like, what was when you came out and you did your first video? What did you focus on? Like, what were you teaching?
I don't recall exactly my first video, but the basics I was teaching were things like chain cleaning, chain clean, chain lube,
Lubrication,
yeah, oil changes. That's a
Mhm.
basic maintenance. Lubing your clutch cable so that you don't end up with a dry frayed cable that's going to break on you when you're out
Right.
riding. Bleeding brakes.
Yeah.
That's something that you can do on your own. And things like that, just the basic care. And also doing that inspection, that pre-ride inspection, so that you can go over your bike and learn the parts of your bike, kind of get an idea of what your bike sounds like, so that you'll know what it sounds like when something's off.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Smart.
And you can listen in, and maybe you don't know what this part is, but you know that it sounds, that the sound you're hearing that you didn't hear before is coming from this. And then you can look up that, part, getting familiar with your manual and your repair manual to know the parts of your bike,
Yep.
that kind of
Yep,
stuff.
for sure.
It's very basic,
Important
you
stuff.
think, but very important stuff that
Absolutely.
that we don't get shown. And sometimes it's hard to seek out that information, especially when you don't have somebody that looks like you that's teaching it. Because a lot of
Absolutely.
being able to learn something is being able to see yourself doing it. And if you
Right,
don't
relate.
see a female doing it, then it's harder to see yourself doing it.
Good point. Good point for sure. How you got this on your website? You have this booking events page. Take the listeners through, like, if they wanted to book you to come to them or book whatever event is going on, take the audience into what it's all about, what they can expect if they booked your service.
Okay. See, well, it's going to depend on each event. Each event's going to be taken, differently into consideration of what the focus of the event was. Because maybe this event is better if I just do a demonstration, or this event is maybe better if there's a hands-on clinic. So that's going to be different for each event. I can do an oil change clinic, or chain cleaning, brake bleeding clinics, or just go over that pre-ride inspection checklist and make sure that you are aware of what each item is talking about. Because even on the pre-ride inspection checklist from MSAT, if you go through that, you may not even know what you're supposed to be checking on that,
Right.
and how to check. And so just going through that checklist could be one of the things that that event that would be good for me to focus on at that event, depending on the level of ridership. That's basically for the workshop. It's going to be, based on event and what that event needs.
What seems to be the most requested?
We've had different ones at the Ladies in Leather parade and rally event. I've been to that one several times. A couple of times we've done a just open house clinic where I'm available to, if you're interested in learning oil change, all right, come on over here. We'll do this oil change on this bike. If you're interested in chain cleaning, let's go clean this chain. And I had
That's cool.
husband and wife come. One of them was interested in chain cleaning because he had a new bike that was chain driven, and then the wife wanted to learn how to do an oil change. So on the same bike of mine, I put them both on that and kind of oversaw her doing the oil change and him doing the chain cleaning, and walked him through the process on both of them at the same time. So
That's really cool.
that was kind of just come, tell me what you want to learn and I'll show you, kind of thing.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. And you do it with a hands-on approach, so they actually feel and touch every part of the things that need to be changed out, which is, in my opinion, the absolute best way to teach somebody is have them do it with the supervision. So that's cool. That's awesome. Good job on that.
Thanks. Yeah, I think the best way to do that is to have them get hands-on, and then maybe they
Absolutely.
get that experience better and translate that to their bike. It's not going to be exactly the same, but the process of, changing oil is still the same. You drill,
Sure.
you change the filter, and you plug it and you fill it back up. That process is the same for every bike. The nuance is going to be different for your bike versus mine, but that process is the same. And now
It's essentially the same.
yeah. And you can take that and relate it to your own bike.
So I'm curious, as you've amassed your following and you've created more and more content and your business has been growing, have there been any challenges that you've faced with that growth?
I think the challenge is that that the growth isn't so much that it allows me to focus 100% of my time on keeping that momentum. And so I still have a full-time job outside of Bitcoin. I still have a lot of other responsibilities, and so I'm unable to put enough time into growing that, I think, for me, because I'm not, I don't have any profit from that where I could use it to, fund my life,
Sure.
So,
Right.
so I'm not able to focus a lot of time. And I think that's a real problem because I would love to put more content out. It's just time,
Time constraints. Sure.
time, it a lot of time.
And finances, obviously, too, because it's not cheap to be able to take time off from work or to leave a full-time paying job for something that you believe in right away. So until it starts to grow and you get some money behind this thing. Completely understand. We're in the
We
same boat.
Yeah.
You know, we started Cycles Worldwide. We launched this year, and we're building everything. And Ben and I are grinding probably between 2 or 3 other jobs that we're doing, where we're grinding like 6-7 hours a day on this thing, and every single day. So we understand that what's involved. That's why we are so adamant about bringing on smaller companies like you and smaller entrepreneurs and dreamers in this industry to try to help, because one person can't do it. We have to do it as one, you know. So that's the whole focus of the One Gang. But very cool on that side. Hey, listen, let me ask you this: you involved and partnered with some companies that believe in what you're doing. Obviously, some I think chain loop company and some oil companies.
Yes.
Can you get into a little bit about the companies that you're working with, and how did that all come about?
Sure. Uh, for my chain cleaning, I use a product for myself from Muck Off, and
Hey.
yeah, and so I love that.
Muck off to your turn.
It's I started using them just for me, and then I thought, you know what, I love this product, and I would love to just use this product in my workshops. So I reached out to them. I said, I love your chain cleaning products. I would love to use them exclusively in workshops where I'm teaching women mostly how to clean their chain and keep it maintained. And they wrote back. They said, love it. Love what you're doing. We support it. We're going to send you product. And they did.
Sweet.
So I've gotten chain cleaning, chain lube. I've gotten also, they have a great line of motorcycle cleaning products. And so they sent me those too. And I was like, that's great, because I love the company. And so I started using their other stuff, and that's amazing stuff too. And so I'll display everything that they send me out, and allow anybody to come up and test it out, use it with their motorcycle shine or motorcycle cleaning products. They've got a waterless bike cleaner, so you can just spray it on and wipe it. So you don't need to hose down the bike. It works
nice.
great. They've got, I've got them up here on my shelf here. Their motorcycle cleaner, that pink bottle, is actually refillable at some dealerships. So they'll have a big,
Cool.
vat of the stuff. You can go refill your bottle. So they're concerned about the environment too. You know, when you're cleaning a chain, you're dumping all this product, in the grass, because that's where I'm cleaning my chain, is in the grass. Because I'm just hosing it off. I don't have a wash pad or anything that goes into a drain that protects the environment or anything. It's going into my ground, and I have a well. So
Yeah.
So those products are biodegradable. They're really great. Also, the chain cleaning products have a UV aspect to them, so you can look at them under black light, and so you can see where you've oversprayed or where you haven't sprayed.
Yeah, cool.
And so you can
that's really
grow
cool.
with the spraying. And then
Let's free go. So
yeah.
go ahead, and then what else? What do you got?
So one of the Amsoil distributors contacted me. She was going to be at the same event that I was going to be at. And she said, I'd love to provide your oil for your oil change workshops. And I said, okay, that's great. Thanks.
Heck yeah.
I plan for several oil changes on the bikes that I bring, so that I can make sure I have enough oil, because I don't put it back in the bike. I just, take it.
Right. Dump it. Yeah.
And, dump it at Walmart. So I don't, and I use Yamalube in my R3 and my XT250, and I don't want to I don't want to spend Yama Lube money.
Yeah.
Right.
So if
No
somebody's going
doubt,
to
no
provide
doubt.
me some oil to put in my bike for free, I'm like,
Man, Amsoil is one of the best companies out there anyway.
the,
So
yeah. So
you got a great one
I
behind you.
yeah, I can't go wrong. And so even if it's not what I am typically putting in my bike, it's a great product. And I run it through. So it costs a lot to be able to supply that type of a workshop. So for them to be able to provide me that product was a real great for
Huge.
me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's cool. So you've got the your goals and aspirations with Rocky. So you're looking at attending rallies and things like that. What other goals do you have, and how are you going to make those happen with balancing the work side of it, the full-time job?
Well, I really don't know if I will ever be able to make this my full-time venture, doing this full-time, going around the country. Sure, ideally it would be nice to just take my workshop to rallies across the country and just make a like a tour circuit and the whole thing, and just I'm here this week, I'm over here this week, but because that's fun.
Hear that, sponsors?
I need sponsors. Hey, has
Come on.
Amsoil, are you listening? We need more than oil, please.
yeah, sponsors, that would be great. But I don't know, I don't know if that's in the cards. It's that whole catch-22 of, you need followers, you need, all of
Right,
this.
right.
But then it takes this to get followers. So it's like you're kind of stuck. And so I don't know that I'll ever make that vision a reality, but I just want to have more women being able to maintain their bikes. That's the real goal. I mean, just having bike ownership includes maintenance. And I want people to understand that, you're owning a bike, you're on two wheels out there. You have to have
That's
a
right.
properly working bike, because if something goes wrong, you're going to be stuck, or have an accident because of it.
Hey guys, the show will be back in 1 minute right after a word from our sponsor.
Hey, One Gang, tired of feeling like your butt's taking more of a beating than your bike on those long rides? Introducing Butt Buffer, the ultimate solution to saddle soreness. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. These cushions are made from medical-grade viscoelastic polymer, scientifically crafted to eliminate pressure points and keep your circulation flowing. No more numb nuts or numb butts. And here's the best part. Butt Buffer cushions are made right here in the U.S. for the last 30 years. From Harleys to Hondas, we've got a cushion to fit your ride perfectly. Plus, with styles ranging from sleek pebble polymer to luxurious sheepskin, there's a Butt Buffer for every rider's style. Get your Butt Buffer today at buttbuffer.com. That's buttbuffer.com. Your butt will thank you, and you'll ride longer and happier. We've got your butt covered.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. So when you, what type of rallies are you attending now? Are you doing like local stuff just to be able to, where you can kind of fit it into your schedule in your life, where you can go and it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg to travel across country?
Yeah, most of my things are fairly local. I think the furthest I've gone is, well, still in Texas. For me, it was pretty far. It was Beaumont. From me, it was at least 8 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, you can travel all day and still be in Texas.
Yeah. Texas, you don't leave. You don't leave.
Yeah, but luckily I'm on the north side of Texas, so I have the ability to reach into other states just as easily as staying in Texas. So I've been to Beaumont. I went to Little Rock, Arkansas. That one was pretty far. That was a Ladies and Mother parade and rally event. This is a traveling rally that is, of course, women centered. Men are not excluded, but it's a women centered focused event. The next one of that event is going to be in Oklahoma City this year. So that's
How far is that for you?
3
3 hours.
That's,
Yeah,
not
so
bad.
okay, not
That's
bad.
really close.
That's a motorcycle ride, baby.
It
3
is.
hours.
It is. But I've got a lot of stuff to bring.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You
Yeah.
got-
Yeah.
So when you're at these rallies, right? What do you do? Is there like how do you set the schedule? How do you is it something where in the morning you have a sign posted saying like at 4 o'clock we will be doing this, and then people come at that time, or how does it work like at the rallies
Yeah.
that they know to come see what you're doing?
So I did the open house first. That was the first one I did. Was kind of like come as you are. Just pass through my booth, and if you had time to stop, do something hands on here, or just talk to me about motorcycle maintenance. And then the next one I did at that rally, the following year was more of a scheduled. I'm going to do this clinic at this time, this workshop here, and it was very difficult for the rally attendees to keep up with the schedule.
Of course. Because they
So-
move on to different things. They ride to the next event
Exactly.
or whatever, a music show or go get drunk somewhere or something.
Go get lost somewhere.
Go get lost
Forget
somewhere.
what time it is. Yeah.
Right.
And lose track of time. And so I've had a lot of people start showing up saying, "Oh, what time was the whatever?" And I was like, "Well, that was an hour ago,
Yeah.
but nobody's here. Come on in. I'll show you how to do something."
So you still take them
So
on.
I
Good
still
thing.
did it, and it
Yeah.
became more of just like the open house. And so I was like, you know what, that works. Let's just do that. I will be here. Come see me. And and so the next one we had more of a focus. The one in Little Rock was we thought maybe not as many people wanted to get so technical and hands-on with stuff.
Right.
So let's do more of a overview. And so we did the T-Clocks inspection checklist, and we said, okay, come by. This is what I'm going to take you through this inspection checklist and show you, the different parts on a bike. And we had it where they were able to ride their bike right up to my booth. And so we could go over the inspection on their bike. So it meant a lot to them.
And that's good for you too, because you learn every motorcycle where everything is, how everything works. So that only educates you also. You're not just working on the Ural, or you're not just working on your Yamaha. You're working on different and looking at different bikes. So it's always good to have a good broad range. Which kind of leads me into the next question. What's your overall goal with Rocky Wrenches and Rides? I mean, obviously, until you get some serious sponsorship behind you, you're doing this more as helping others to give back. But share with the audience what you want to accomplish and how how other listeners can help.
Okay. Well, like I said, the overall vision, the dream vision would have been to have sponsorship. We'd be able to do this full time, take it to events or have pop-up events, maybe join somebody's bike night, or get on somebody's calendar for their group meetup or their club meetup or whatever, and be able to go over some stuff, and just promote that that ownership of a motorcycle, being a full ownership, including maintenance. And it's not just riding, not just some people's focus is, gear, ride with the right gear, or certain riding style, but it's everything. It's all of that, and maintenance should be a big part of that. And that's kind of what I wanted to promote. And if I could do that on a full-time basis, that would be great, just to be on at different events, different people's calendars, just different things to get in front of people.
Gotcha. So you've been reaching out to, you find yourself reaching out more to female rider motorcycle clubs, groups, riding groups, things like that. Is that where your focus is kind of reach as many groups as you possibly can, set up events where you can come in or they can come to you, whatever the case may be, and kind of help everybody along as they move forward. So I got you. That's
Right.
cool. You know, okay.
Yeah, most of it
Wait,
female
so
focused because
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
it makes sense. Yeah, that's empowerment right there. Like empowerment and ownership, not just for women, but for anybody. It's the same concept as like I was in design and web design, and I'd find people who would pay people overseas to build their website, but then if they needed to make any changes to it, they couldn't do it without contacting these guys. So it's just like the dealer and a motorcycle. If you don't know, even if you still want to bring it to the dealer, if you at least have a general understanding of your bike, then it completely makes sense to, bring it to the dealer if you don't have the time, but at least then you know exactly what your idea of what's wrong is. So, I mean, that goes way past motorcycles. I love it.
yeah.
By the way, try to bring your bike to the small shops, small businesses.
Amen.
Instead of the big dealers. No offense to the big dealers. That's great. They have their huge piece of the pie, but the small businesses is what drives this industry, and
Support the little guy.
Support the little guy for sure.
Absolutely.
And for people following or wanting to follow you or potentially contact you, you've got a great website and you're on some different platforms. What are you on? If somebody wants to contact you or stay up to date, what are you most active on?
Probably Facebook. Probably
Cool.
probably
Okay.
my
All
Facebook.
right.
What's your handle on that?
Rocky Ridges
We'll
and
have it
Rides.
linked in the shows too.
Yeah, it's Rocky Ridges and
Gotcha.
Rides at everything. It's on Instagram, YouTube, my Facebook. It's all at Rocky Ridges and Rides.
Cool.
Right on. And then do you have anything coming up in the near future you want to mention?
Yeah, I do. So I've got in September, I've got the Ladies in Leather rally. It's Ladies in Leather Parade and Rally. It's been, I think it's coined as the largest all-female parade and rally event, and it travels. So it's been in different places in Texas. It's been Little Rock. It's been Texarkana, and this year it's going to
Nice.
be in Oklahoma City.
Cool.
Oklahoma City is that one.
So I'll be
Cool.
demonstrating there. And then that's I have to refer to my calendar.
Yeah, do it. Of course.
For the
Yeah.
dates.
I'm very cautiously searching on Google for ladies in
I know,
leather.
right? You're gonna
Oklahoma City motorcycle.
don't let anybody look at your search history.
Yeah.
It's
That's fun.
Ladies in Leather Parade and Rally, and you'll get it with that. But it's Lil, and it's September 12th through 14th in Oklahoma City this year.
That's cool.
Nice. I see the website is ladiesinleatherparade.com.
Okay. Yes.
That's cool. They got all the info
Yeah,
on
we'll
there.
link everything to the show notes so people be able to just click on to get you or to find out more about the event itself.
Great. And then
And then do you have for your products, sorry to
No.
interrupt, but I'm going for it. Do you have for those products and things, do you have like an affiliate situation worked out where you have a link for a discount or anything, or you just verbally promote them?
No, I am so uneducated on any of that, and I just they supply me products, and I'm like, that's a great arrangement.
Right.
Nice. Yeah, free product, right?
Do you sell the
Cool.
products?
No,
Do you sell the products online? No.
I don't. No.
So all the products that are provided are used in your demonstrations is basically what it is.
Yes.
Man, that's cool. You're like a, I don't know. Yeah. It's nice to see that you give back so much without expecting anything really back in return. So you're obviously going to need the sponsorship in order to make this into a full-time type of a thing because, man, you give too much away and not
Yeah.
enough back. So
Story of my
it's a
life.
good way to be. Yeah.
I'm gonna
that's
die.
fine.
I'm gonna die broke.
It's all right. As long as you die
Nah,
happy,
you'll
who
be good.
cares?
That's true.
You can't take that stuff with you when when you're gone. So
That's true.
You got some sweet swag on your website too. Just a quick plug. You've got some tool bags and a pretty awesome sticker, ride, wrench, repeat, cool shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
Might
Cool.
have to.
hey,
might
are you
have to
still
get some.
doing? Are you still doing the reviews for biking bags? Are you still doing that stuff?
So my life just kind of really took a turn within the last year and a half. where my full-time job was very toxic, and I had to change it. I had to make a change, so I did. And I didn't want to give the new job any kind of impression that I wasn't focused and wasn't
fully committed.
yeah, committed. And so I kind of the last year, almost year and a half, was very focused on this new full-time job. So I didn't have very much in posting. I really let social media just kind of
We understand.
Really-
Understand. You have to put focus to pay bills.
yeah.
We get it. We
So
get it.
and then while it was about just a few months ago, I was contacted by somebody doing an event in October. And she said, I found you and I'm wondering if you can be at our event in October. I really think that, you would benefit the ladies that are going to be at this event because it's all education focused. It's a motorcycle event. It's all geared toward education of all kinds of things.
Right.
And
Cool.
so I was like, you know what? That's October. I was like, oh, that's so far off my radar. Sure. I'm going to commit to that because by then, sure. And so then I thought, oh my gosh, October's going to come. What else am I doing? I need to, I need to get back in this.
Right.
Hey,
people
are you
asking-
working in the engineering field? Are you in the engineering field now?
I'm not in the engineering field. So I went for almost 4 years of engineering school. And again, finances, I had to stop going because I couldn't afford to continue.
That's a
Yeah,
bummer.
always fun.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Hey.
so 3.5, almost 4 years of engineering school under my belt with no degree.
With no degree, yeah.
You hear that, sponsors?
It's
So,
Chickens.
well, I hear they're paying off everybody's school loan
oh,
for votes. So,
Everybody-
yeah, for
then
votes.
I,
So
I paid my own.
yeah, exactly. Us too.
I've already
Right
paid
on.
my own.
No doubt about
Yeah,
it.
what do we get?
No,
Yeah, we get inflation and high prices of cost of living.
yeah.
That's what we get
And-
being doing the right things in life. But
It,
that's a whole other podcast, and that
Yeah.
involves a lot of explicit language.
yes, yeah, I believe so. Because I put my son
So-
through college with parent loans, and so
What?
Those
You
aren't
got a
gonna
kid
be-
in college?
those aren't going to be forgiven, huh?
Hey, you got a kid in college?
Yeah,
Oh
I-
boy.
he
All right.
graduated.
Shoot.
I've got a kid who's 20. He'll be 25 this year, and one that will be 23 this year.
Oh my goodness.
So you were 13 when you
Yeah,
had
I
him?
got-
What the
I
heck?
appreciate
That's, turning wrenches is keeping you young.
I know. That's funny. All right, kid, are you ready for the speed round?
Well,
Speed road?
give you one more event, that October event.
Yeah, sure.
Well,
Yeah, please.
Okay. All right. That is the organization is called WRATH, WRATH. And
Mhm.
it stands for Women Riders Are Total Hellions. So
That's
they're
cool. I like that.
they're a new group, and they're applying for their nonprofit status. Their fundraising here
Nice.
is going for trafficking, human trafficking.
Sweet.
Yeah, we can all get behind that.
Yeah. We just did a podcast with Bikers Against Trafficking with the two founders, and now they're already grown internationally. I mean, they're not only all over the States, but they're all over the world now. So,
Yeah.
incredible podcast. That was very interesting and very heartfelt.
Yeah.
So that's cool that
Yeah.
there's more of that stuff going on.
Yeah.
I know,
and rainy.
especially up in Texas. I mean,
Yeah.
Florida, we're number 3 in the United. We found out the United States is the number 1 in the world for human trafficking.
Wow.
I know that we live in Florida, and Florida is number 3 in the United States for human trafficking. And I know Texas has got to be up there with it
Gotta be.
because everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's sad, man.
Yeah.
We live in a crazy times.
Yeah. We'll add, so on the end of this show, we'll add Doc and Rainey's Bikers Against Trafficking. Well, that's the suggested episode for you guys listening.
That'd be great. So
Wait.
the Women Riders or Total Hellions, that one event is in October. It's October 11th through 13th in Carlos,
Sweet.
Texas.
Got it.
And like I said, that one is education focused. They're going to have me to talk about learning how to wrench, learning things about your bike. Not sure exactly what my topic will be. I'll iron that out as the rally develops, as the event develops, so I can know where I need to put my focus. And then they're going to have, things about riding, things about gear, education on a whole bunch of stuff, so that people are more informed. And like you said, you can't do better unless you know better.
That's
So
right.
we're trying to be
That'll be a great event.
education.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Hey,
And
have you,
people sometimes hear education and kind of have an aversion to it, but that's one of the most valuable rallies that you could go to.
Right.
for sure.
It's awesome.
Hey, before we get into the speed run, I wanted to ask you a question.
Yeah.
You ever have a wise guy, a wise gal in your group, or when you were doing your events, kind of yapping too much about what you're doing and what you're not doing, or
Oh,
everybody's
that's how you're doing it?
right? Or is everybody pretty obedient in regards to just kicking back and listening?
I had one try.
Oh yeah. Well, what happened?
Yes.
What happened? Just take us quickly in there.
Well, they start talking, and they think that they're gonna know more than you, of course. Just
Was it a dude?
yeah, dude, of course, yeah. And so
Of
they,
course.
I'm sorry, you guys
Good,
already
I'll
know.
Nah, it's all good.
Mhm.
But there's no hurt feelings here.
But they come in, you're teaching people how to rent, and so when I start talking and explaining what I show, and they're like, oh yeah, what do you know about that? I'm like, oh well, let me tell you.
See. Right.
Have a seat.
Yeah, they just shut up pretty much
Ah,
right off the bat.
goodness.
I had
There's
one.
always got to
We
be
just
that.
found our
al-
episode
always,
highlight.
Yeah, always got to be that one guy. Always.
I had one guy. It was at the Texarkana rally, and it was so hot. I'm talking about Texarkana, Texas, in September. I was outside. I wasn't at an inside booth. I was outside,
Right.
and it was just really hot, sweat pouring. It was humid, and I had my hair, up in a ponytail or pulled back somehow.
Right.
And the guy comes up, and he sees my poster that's on my booth behind me, which is it's this picture with me at the Ural.
Right. Right. That's a beautiful picture. I love
looking
that one.
backwards, with my hair down and makeup on and all of that. And he was like, "That's you." I mean, it's like I wasn't bringing all that.
Hey.
September.
Right.
Well, listen.
And I was like,
Gee.
"Oh, it doesn't look like me, you think?"
That's crazy.
That's one of those toothpaste moments. You can't get the toothpaste back in the thing.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, "Oh, you expect me to look like that out here in September and working on bikes?"
Pouring sweat out in the middle of a field.
I'm like, "Well, that was a photo."
Right. Right.
So,
That's crazy.
Come on now. Women's jobs is to look pretty. You ain't supposed to do anything on a bike,
Right.
wrenching and all that stuff. Where's your dress, darling? Oh, gosh.
But how is an
You should smile
interesting voice, man? What do you?
more.
What are you trying to say?
Part of
there?
that's
out of an
natural.
accent.
Hey, I'm from it. I can say it. All right, speed round city. You ready?
Fire away.
All
All
right.
right,
let's
we're going
rock.
to do 2 minutes on the clock. Gonna mark my time here real quick. All right, first question. Favorite motorcycle or best motorcycle you've ever owned or ridden?
Yamaha V-Star 650.
That was easy. Lots of hesitation there. If your motorcycle could talk, what would yours say about you?
Slow down.
Nice. Best place you've ever ridden and why?
Oh, best place. Oh, this one is going to be a hard one. I don't know if I can speed through this. Best place. It's got to be probably Colorado. Fourth off-road, because I did the Colorado BDR, through Colorado
Sweet.
off-road for a whole week, going up through the whole state.
Wow.
And then also, I was there with my sport bike and did the, what is it called? The I can't even think of the name of it, the highway that goes around the mountain.
The mountain's the curvy one.
Yeah, in a Durango area. Yeah, that
Yep.
was both of those had the off-road and my sport bike on those
Nice,
those
nice.
carving out those curves. It was nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful up there.
It is crazy out there. Most embarrassing song on your playlist?
Too many.
Too many. Okay. Okay. You plead the fifth.
Justin Bieber.
No, I don't have any Bieber on there, but I've got ABBA. I've got
Okay, all right.
I've got
Vanilla Ice is probably a little embarrassing, but ABBA's pretty cool. Just messing with you.
All right. Stop. Collaborate and listen. Next question. So, if you could time travel, which era would you visit and why?
I would visit the not that I want to be in a war era, but mid late 40s. That's my jam.
Let's go.
Nice. Why?
Why? Okay, I like. Does it gotta sound unlike me? I like the women's fashion.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I
The
do
way
like.
men dressed.
I like the way the
Yeah.
dressed.
Absolutely.
I like the way they dressed up, and I did like the introduction of women in the workforce in the in the labor jobs.
Yeah.
What you mean? You don't like today's dress code with the slides, the socks pulled up high, and the pants hanging down to their ankles? You don't like that? You don't think
No.
that's
I like it dressed up, and then
for sure?
being able to put those pants on to go do the factory job too, and having that
Mm-hmm.
what the new norm is for women to be introduced into that. And I would have been probably, I feel like, one of those women that goes into the factory jobs and
Right.
Oh, yeah.
That's
change,
cool.
badass by day, classy by night.
That's right.
Heck
Yeah.
yeah. Got the bandana tied in the front and that whole deal.
Yep.
Dude, you could rock
Yep.
it. Favorite motorcycle movie of all time?
Oh, I don't know if I have a motorcycle movie. Oh well, I could say this: Rambo.
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 Hey, that counts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Going back to Sylvester Stallone
Yep.
once again.
Yep.
Rocky. All right, let's
Yep.
do it.
Full circle.
Very close. All right. Who was your favorite, or sorry, not favorite, but who was your movie crush as a teenager?
As a teenager, probably Kenneth Branagh or Sylvester Stallone.
Sly.
Yep.
If you could meet and have dinner with one person from any point in history, who would it be?
Oh, that is tough. Can we skip? Can we come back? Wait.
Sure.
Unfortunately, no. No, it's very strict rules in the speed round. Okay, next was one law you would change if you were president to help the motorcycle community.
Oh, a law I would change. At least tough too. I think that I would. I want to say I would have to require helmets.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fine.
Controversial. I like it.
Crucial. I mean, in specific situations, I guess it would be like if you're in a
That makes sense.
parade. I don't really think it's exactly necessary, but there's so many deaths on motor accident fatalities that a person wasn't, if they were better protected.
Wearing a helmet will save their life. Yeah, makes sense. All right, what's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Best piece of advice.
It's a super easy one. Come on.
Yes.
And some hardballs here. I wish you shot me these beforehand.
No.
That'd be cheating. Come on.
We can make it look like it wasn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh God, best piece of advice. I think maybe.
Wear your helmet.
Well, what about best piece of advice your dad ever gave you, since he's the one who kind of got you into what has he told you?
Yeah, we'll
that
be
you
that.
still stick to and have told your kids.
The best piece of advice that was also embarrassing was to not be embarrassed about something, because it was a time in my life when I was maturing. And so, you know, I had my first period. We'll talk about that. So my dad,
Only on One Gang Worldwide, people.
only on one. So my dad, not the person you want to talk about that stuff with.
Right, right.
Sure.
So my dad comes in and he says, "Don't be embarrassed. Even the Queen of England gets them."
I know.
Oh, I'm using that.
You know, you can apply that to, you know, a lot.
Almost anything. Right.
That's hysterical. Okay, here's a more fun one. If you could get up on stage and sing or jam with one band, who would it be?
Singing Jim. Probably, I want to say Journey, but it's gotten,
I said,
I don't know. ABBA's in there too. That would be so fun.
Okay.
yeah. Nice. All right, what's one piece of clothing that you love to wear but your spouse can't stand? Or if he's a smart husband, it's probably not
I
very
think he's a smart husband.
communicated.
He's a smart husband.
Never
All right.
represent anything of it.
He loves
Well played.
he loves everything. Happy wife, happy life, right?
It's funny. Usually the guys that we have on there, they're able to rattle something off super quick. Like, oh, my wife hates that thing.
Right, right.
All right. If they made a biker themed movie about you, who would play you?
You don't have to be humble. It's okay.
Maybe Reese Witherspoon.
All right.
Reese Witherspoon? Yeah, I can see that for sure. I got a little like Jodie Foster vibe too, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Younger,
Yeah, I'm thinking.
younger Jodie Foster. So when you're hopping on your bike for a ride, do you have any either superstitions or OCD things that you do?
I want to make sure, you know, I check my helmet all the time because I've gone off with it not done, and then I'm trying to do it on the road, and that never works. You always have to pull over, so I'm always checking that first.
Right.
I just always check things. Like, I don't know, maybe it's like a OCD kind of thing. Like, is my pocket zipped where my phone is? Or, you know, did I already start my playlist? Things like that. Just make me sure. And then I never want to leave when I feel kind of anxious, or shaky in a bit, like maybe almost
Smart.
feeling like a low sugar feeling when you're
Right,
kind of
right.
shaky.
Yeah.
And whether that's some kind of anxiety or it's actually low sugar, I wait.
Do you have diabetes?
I don't, but I do notice when if I don't eat, you know, because I'll go
Yeah.
through several hours without eating, and then I start to, you know, get a little uneasy, shaky kind of feeling, and like,
Yeah.
I need to eat something. I haven't eaten, and so
Right.
yeah, but so whether it's that or if it's, you know, some kind of being anxious about something, I don't get on. I'm like, figure out
Okay.
what it is, and then get settled, and then go ride, because I don't want to feel that way when I'm on a bike, because I'm really
Sure.
focused.
Sure.
Yeah. That's great advice. All right, last question. So besides One Gang Worldwide, do you listen to any other podcasts, and do you have any favorites?
No, I really don't listen to podcasts that much. I guess I don't find myself in a setting where I can do that. I probably
Sure.
should,
Yeah.
because I'm kind of a little bit ADHD, where if I'm watching TV, I'm watching, listening, and I'm also doing something else. So I can't just do that. I always have to have something else. So what I should do is get off my butt, throw my earbuds in,
Right.
listen to a podcast, because I don't really have
Put on the One Gang Worldwide podcast.
Put on
That's
One
all
Gang-
you need.
yeah, go do the dishes, or, you know, or go work on my bike, or
Right. Right.
or
right.
Yeah.
I
for
should
sure.
probably do something like that. But I feel
Right off.
very unfocused, and I need to rein that in, and I could probably be
Agreed.
productive.
Well, you just made it.
Gotcha.
Just made it. A minute and 59 seconds. So great job on the speed round.
Thanks.
We stopped right at the beginning. So, you know, if you didn't, then you'd have to come here and service our bikes and do all that. We would have put you to
Hell
work
yeah.
right
Do
here
the
right
whole
away.
thing.
So you just made it. So good job.
Thanks.
Thanks for joining us, Rocky. This is awesome.
All right.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
so
having
much
me
for
on.
coming on, and
Thanks for doing.
great to hear your story.
Thanks. Thanks for doing what you guys do, promoting that smaller business and getting people's names out there. Bringing attention to things that people aren't aware of.
It's an honor for
Awesome.
sure.
Appreciate
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Appreciate you for the kind words.
Thanks.
Have an awesome day. Go get out on a bike.
Stiff and slow down.
Take
as
care,
the
The rain
Rocky
will
would
stop
say.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, take it
Thanks.
easy.
Take care.
You too.